Okay, let's get straight to it. J.J. McCarthy's fourth quarter explosion was cinematic, but should a single heroic quarter, even in your NFL debut, make you Offensive Player of the Week? That's the fight fans are having, and it's worth walking through why the reaction got so loud. He came into the game, struggled, and looked human for three quarters. The Vikings offense had just 122 yards through three frames, and McCarthy even threw a pick six late in the third. Then the fourth quarter happened. Three touchdown throws, a clutch drive after the turnover, and an 11-point comeback that rewrote a rookie narrative in one furious burst. It was a rare kind of finish, the sort of highlight reel arc that makes TV producers drool and social clips explode overnight. Now cut to the backlash. Fans are arguing on two main axes, fairness and precedent. The fairness crew says, hey, the award is supposed to honor the best overall performance that week, not one great quarter in a largely quiet debut. The precedent crew points out other players, like Emeka Egbuka, who had a quiet but efficient 4 catches for 67 yards and 2 TDs, including a late-game winner, who had steadier full-game productivity and maybe deserved a nod more on pure consistency. Both arguments have teeth, but here's the counterweight people keep missing. Context matters in football more than raw counting stats. A 3-touchdown fourth quarter in an NFL debut isn't just scoring tweets. It's clutch decision-making under the brightest lights. When your team is down and the opponent is throwing everything at you, a quarterback who engineers multiple game-changing drives shows a combination of poise, playmaking, and leadership that box scores don't capture. That matters to coaches, to teammates, and yes, to award voters who are sometimes, fairly or not, enchanted by the drama of bigger moments. This is where the league's incentives intersect with fan expectations. The NFL loves a narrative. Rookie storylines sell tickets, social feeds, and highlight packages. There's a marketing value in anointed moments. Voters, whether media or league committees, are susceptible to that. A single quarter that rewrites an entire game, especially for a rookie QB, feels like more than a stat line. It feels like a potential origin story. That emotional weight often tips the scales in award decisions, and that's frustrating if you want purely objective metrics. But it's reality. Let's unpack what objective would even look like here. If you rank everyone by total yards, completion percentage, or game score, McCarthy's overall line, 13 for 20, 143 yards, 2 TDs passing, 1 INT, and a rushing TD, is solid, but not jaw-dropping. Other players posted bigger box scores. Yet if you measure win probability added or clutch win probability swing, that fourth quarter performance is likely off the charts. Converting a near-certain loss into a win is a high-leverage act. The game mattered more at those moments than in garbage-time heroics. Still, the outrage has a social logic. Fans see awards as validations, proof that what they watched on Sunday was correctly judged. When an award goes to a player whose total production looks modest, fans feel robbed. That reaction is amplified when they have a specific alternate nominee in mind. Enter Egbuka, who had cleaner, steadier numbers. And frankly, the NFL's vague award guidelines help create controversy. If voters had to publish a transparent rubric, total yards, critical plays, game situation weighting, people would still argue, but the argument would be about metrics, not perception. Another layer, recency bias and highlight culture. Our media age condenses a 60-minute game into a 90-second highlight reel. The most dramatic moment, even if it's a single quarter, becomes the story. Award voters and casual fans see the same reel. It's human to be swayed by what you most vividly remember. That's not a value judgment on voters so much as a reminder of how our attention economy shapes what we call merit. If you want the best football from McCarthy, it lives in that attention economy. He forced a narrative reversal, and in a week otherwise light on jaw-dropping performances from NFC quarterbacks, that pivot felt like the biggest moment. So where does that leave fairness and the meritocracy fans crave? There are a few takeaways worth keeping. 1, awards are partly objective and partly theatrical. The league markets drama the same way networks do, and awards sometimes reflect what made the week feel alive, not just what looked clean on a stat sheet. 2, if you want less controversy, demand clearer criteria. A transparent rubric that weighs total production against clutch win probability and strength of opponent would reduce noise. It wouldn't eliminate debate. Sports debate is half the fun, but it would shift arguments to the numbers instead of the optics. 3. Context matters. McCarthy's fourth quarter showcased poise and the ability to perform in the moment, traits that matter more for quarterbacks than for, say, a receiver's yardage total. Evaluating QBs purely on volume stats without high leverage context misses part of the game. Number 4, consider the emotional currency of debuts. A rookie's first game heroics carry outsized narrative value because they promise future storylines. That's an irrational bias at times, but it's also how fandom grows. Voters don't only reward performance, they reward the sense that the league's future just turned a page. If you want a blunt line for your group chat, McCarthy didn't win the award because he piled up the most yards. He won it because he created the single most consequential football quarter in the NFC that week. That's a valid lens, even if it's emotionally unsatisfying for someone who believes steadier, full-game excellence should always trump spectacle. Finally, remember that awards are snapshots, not predictions. 10 weeks from now, nobody will remember the controversy if McCarthy becomes a consistent starter who wins games. Conversely, if he fizzles, the award will feel like a misfire in hindsight. That's the strange alchemy of sports. Recognition sometimes belongs to the moment, not the measure. And that's human, flawed, dramatic, and endlessly debatable, exactly like the game itself. Controversy hit the league this week after the NFL named Vikings rookie J.J. McCarthy its NFC Offensive Player of the Week, and social feeds exploded. Why the fuss? Because McCarthy's award was built almost entirely on one insane fourth quarter, not a dominant full-game performance. Here's what happened. McCarthy engineered an 11-point comeback on Monday Night Football, scoring 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns in his NFL debut. An eye-popping finish that clinched the win. His stat line ended at 13 for 20 for 143 yards, 2 passing TDs, 1 rushing TD, and an interception. Those numbers don't jump off the page for a full game, but the timing of his plays flipped the result and the narrative. That clutch fourth quarter was enough for the league, and that's what set fans off. Critics said the award felt like a reward for a single heroic stretch rather than sustained excellence across the week. Social media piled on. Many argued other performers, like Buccaneers rookie Emeka Egbuka, who hauled in 4 catches for 67 yards and 2 TDs, including a game winner, deserved the nod. Others pointed to Baker Mayfield, who also threw 3 touchdowns, or to quarterbacks who protected the ball and produced steadier, cleaner outings. Context matters. McCarthy's comeback came after a sluggish first 3 quarters in which the Vikings managed just 122 yards. He also threw a pick-6 late in the third quarter that nearly buried his team. And yet, that late-game resiliency changed how voters saw the performance. In a week where few NFC quarterbacks posted gaudy totals, McCarthy's dramatic finish carried outsized weight. This debate taps into a larger conversation about how the NFL evaluates impact. Do you reward the player who steps up in the moment, even if the rest of his stat line is modest? Or do you prioritize consistent production and ball security across the entire game? Fans split down the middle, some praising McCarthy's poise and clutch gene, others criticizing the optics of handing out a weekly honor for one hot quarter. For McCarthy and the Vikings, the award is a boost. It recognizes a rookie who showed the ability to close and to perform under primetime pressure. For the league, it's a PR headache that reinforces how every decision gets amplified on social platforms. And for other players like Egbuka, it's a reminder that timely, game-winning plays don't always translate into awards. Bottom line, McCarthy's finish was unforgettable, but the flap over the honor reveals how subjective weekly awards can be, and how divided fans are about what truly deserves recognition.